All right, look. Good morning, NBA. February 7th. Let's get into it. My man DiVincenzo dropped 32 on Memphis, aka White Curry. All right, now the Knicks were 14-point favorites. They did not cover that number. They only won by 10. Brunson had 27 before he left. He had ankle injury. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, damn, bro. We only played like 7 guys. How many guys did Thibodeau play last night? He played 8 players. Thibodeau played 8 players last night. So we running out of bodies, man. OG hurt, Mitchell hurt, Randall hurt, Quentin Grimes was hurt. We running out of bodies, man. We definitely gonna have to make a trade. We're gonna need some depth out here. We have no bodies. The Knicks have to. We got like 11 second round picks. The Knicks got to make a trade by tomorrow afternoon. They have to make a trade. Like, I don't know what else to say other than the fact they got to get some depth on this team, man. We're too thin. We're too thin. We're a Brunson injury away from just, losing everything. Losing our top seed and everything. So, hopefully Leon Rose and the crew, they make a move tomorrow. Add some depth to this team. I wouldn't mind Malcolm Brogdon, especially after that scare where Malcolm Brogdon come through, lead the bench unit. Definitely wouldn't mind that. So we'll see what happens. As far as Memphis goes, Memphis ain't have a soul out there. Damn, the whole Memphis team hurt. And then when Triple J played, you already knew that was a dub. So, shout out to Memphis for keeping things competitive. They are a spread covering machine. Shout out to the Grizzlies. Not Minnesota. I'm gonna get to Minnesota in a minute. Them bum ass niggas. Shout out to Indiana. Indiana for the bread last night. Siakam had 29. Now, the thing with Indiana is Indiana barely won. They barely won. Indiana was 7.5 point favorites. Got bet all the way up to 8.5. 9 points last night. They barely won. This is a Rockets team that is like 5-18 on the road. They stink when they're not in Houston. But the problem with Indiana is, even with Halliburton playing 29 minutes, Indiana plays no defense. That's the problem with Indiana. You're always going to have a chance to backdoor cover Indiana because they play no defense. So you might want to be careful before you lay that number with Indiana. But the over was cashed. I think that over was at like 244 last night. And they got 261 points last night. So the over was easy. Miami crushed the Magic, which is shocking. Here's the thing with Miami. Miami was supposed to crush the Magic, but it's just shocking because they actually did it. Miami is just one of them teams that you just never know what the hell you're going to get. They really are a box of chocolates. But Jimmy Butler had 23. Paolo Banchero had 23. And, Heat defense. They get Tyler Hero back yesterday. That helps. Once again, Heat defense. The Magic couldn't even get 100. Magic got stuck at 95 points. It is what it is. The Heat were literally a 3-point favorite. That just goes to show you how little faith the Bucks or anybody else having the Heat at home. They were a 3-point favorite. Tonight, they're an 8-point favorite versus the Spurs. You got to take the Spurs tonight. If you don't take the points of the Spurs, you don't know nothing about basketball. I don't give a damn if they lose. When Miami is a favorite, you fade them, period. Kyrie returned to Brooklyn last night. He dropped 36 on these bum-ass niggas' heads. Luka had 35, 18, and 9. Almost had a triple-double. On the Brooklyn side, Mikal Bridges got off for 28. Ain't nobody else do a damn thing. Shout out to Ben Simmons for 9, 9, and 7 in 20 minutes. Ben Simmons might really average a triple-double if they let him play 35 minutes. Ben Simmons, if they let him play 35 minutes, he might really average a triple-double. Shout out to Ben Simmons. This game wasn't really close. Mavericks put in work, did they think. They actually been looking good on this road trip. That's back-to-back road wins for the Mavericks. They beat Philly, then they beat Brooklyn. And the thing is, they're playing defense. Brooklyn scored 107, Philly scored 102. So the Mavericks are playing good. They're getting healthy. Shout out to Dallas. Minnesota, these bum-ass niggas. Now, Minnesota was a 5-point road favorite. We all knew you have to take the Bulls. Now, it's one thing to take the Bulls on the point spread because obviously it's Minnesota. But, bruh, you really would think Minnesota will win a game. Minnesota loses in overtime. They can't stop Kobe White. They can't stop DeMar DeRozan. They're supposed to be the best defense in the league, and they're not. I keep trying to tell you my Knicks are the best defense in the league. But the thing with Minnesota is they're the worst top seed I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen, matter of fact, they're not even the top seed anymore because the Clippers are the top seed now in the West. The Clippers are the top seed, and I want to say the Thunder are the second seed. This bum ass team is terrible. Yeah, 33 from Towns, 38 from Anthony Edwards, but something's wrong with this team. I can't put my finger on what's wrong with Minnesota, but there is something fatally flawed about this offense. There's something fatally flawed about the character in the locker room because they lose the bum ass teams all the time. Didn't they just lose to the Bobcats or the Hornets or whatever the fuck? They lost to them a week ago. The Hornets are the worst team I've seen in recent memory. The Hornets are worse than the Pistons team that lost 28 straight games. No cap. Like, this Hornets team is terrible. And they lost to them like a week ago. And they lost at home to some other bum. Who did they lose to at home last? They just lost a game they weren't supposed to lose. Who the hell did they lose to? Now I got to look it up. Nah, it wasn't the Magic game. That wasn't the egregious loss. Yeah, at the Spurs. Bum ass niggas lost at San Antonio, bro. How you lose at San Antonio? They was like 11-point favorites, man. Like, this Minnesota team is frauds. They the $3 bills of the NBA. Do not be fooled. This Minnesota team stinks. They flat out freaking stink. Shout out to the Utah Jazz. Another game you just autoplay Utah at home. Utah was 3-point dogs at home to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. Shea did his thing. Jalen Williams came back into the lineup. He had 26. Holmgren, Big Chet had 22. 3 steals and 4 blocks. Chet was doing his best on defense last night. But, look, Utah at home, man. Utah and Denver at home. Eventually, they will run by you. Come second half, that altitude kick in. You get tired. Thunder had already beaten Utah twice, so you knew Utah was due to get a win versus the Thunder this season. They had already beat Utah twice, so it's pretty much expected. Like I said, the same thing with the Chicago play. You auto bet Chicago in that spot. You have to auto bet Utah in this spot. Just certain things. When you follow the NBA, you just got to do it. Same thing with the Miami. You had to play Miami. Like, even though you don't want to play Miami, it's Miami and no play. That's just how it goes. But shout out to Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen is a monster, bro. 33 and 11, 2 assists. I bet you Chicago wish they still had that dude. But last but not least, Phoenix for the money. Shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix is 3-point favorites last night. No Dame for Milwaukee. Milwaukee on the final leg of a long road trip. And they've been on the road for like a week and a half. Shout out to Phoenix putting them away. It's the last leg of a long road trip for Milwaukee. You knew they was going to be tired. You knew they was going to mail it in eventually because they want to go home. Phoenix is pretty much in control most of the game. Giannis cut it to single digits in the last couple minutes, but it didn't matter. Phoenix kept making shots. KD versus Giannis is always a blockbuster. KD had 28. Giannis had 34. Beasley contributed it with 22. But without Dame, you kind of knew this was going to be a wash. Middleton, shout out to Middleton. Hopefully he get better. He only played 8 minutes. Hopefully everything works out for Chris Middleton. Then you have this situation with Bradley Beal getting 25. Booker getting 32. Got a double-double out of Nurkic. What you've seen with Phoenix over the last couple weeks is they're starting to find their stride. Now that Phoenix is healthy, they're starting to get their stride. They're 30 and 21. They're 6th in the West. And I think, what are they like? 7 and 3 in their last 10 games. I want to say they're 10 and 3 in the last 13. Like, Phoenix has been hot. Ever since Bill came back and stayed back, Phoenix has been hot. And what do you expect? Like, you got 3 All-Stars on your team. You should be doing shit like this. So, shout out to Phoenix. As far as the Bucks go, Doc Rivers is completely and utterly destroying the Bucks. They was better off with Griffin, because at least with Griffin they scored 135. Like, you was good from like 127 to 145 points a night from the Bucks when AJ Griffin was the coach. Now you got Doc Rivers just muddying the waters right now. They should have just stuck with the rookie coach. Look what Ime Udoka turned into. Look what Ty Lue turned into. They should have just let the coach. They really just should have let him coach, man, because Doc Rivers done fucked it up. At least when the other dude was there, you played offense. Like you played a hell of a lot of offense under Griffin. Doc Rivers then came in this same Bucks team that was literally dropping 35 a quarter is barely scoring 25 a quarter now. It's a dramatic drop. It's like a 15-point difference in points per game since Doc Rivers has gotten there. It's terrible. And the defense ain't much better. But Budenholzer crafted a perfect scheme for that Bucks personnel to play defense. Maybe it was a Budenholzer thing. Maybe Budenholzer's defensive schemes had this Bucks defense looking better than what it is. Because you can't tell me Drew Holiday that fucking important. That they lose Drew Holiday now they can't guard shit. That's a damn lie. You're not going to tell me that. I've seen Steph Curry be on top 5, 10 defenses in Golden State for a decade now. He don't guard shit. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that one player it makes that big of a difference. Like we're not doing that. But anyway, that's it. That's all, fellas. You know what to do. Throw those FUs in the chat if you rocking with me. My name is Fitz Vegas, and I approve this message.